everyone, and hello! I know I've been so bad about uploading, but I wanted to get another video up here. I have been playing a little bit of Diablo, so I kind of want to show what I've been working on. This is actually a seasonal wizard. I made him for the new season, and I'm running an Archon build. Now, I will be playing some more Smite. I know I have Jin Tang to play as well, but I wanted to toss this up here just so you guys can see it. On the Paladins front, we're speeding towards a playable alpha that can be played out. Probably might be doing some giveaways of some keys. You guys can get into the alpha and start playing some Paladins and see what I've been working on. But I think let's go ahead and hop into this before we go into the next Smite video and see what's going on here. So for those who don't play Diablo, you get to play a character in the game and you try to climb as much as you can. Really the delineating factor of that is how high you can get on these things called greater rifts, which are a random map, a random assortment of mobs, and also a random assortment of difficulty on the mobs. They get different subset of affixes that make them do different things, and basically the higher level you go on this, the better you are, the more geared you are, the more skilled you are. And so right now the highest wizard in the world I think is at 65, so I'm getting there, not too far off. But the cool thing is I'm running the build that came out of Season 4, which is actually probably one of my favorite Diablo builds. Now, for those of you who don't know, I played Diablo 2 for about 5 years. Long time. Played basically every class. I played ever since the beginning of Barbarian with Grandfather Swords, and then I did the Poison Mancers, and I did all the PvP, and then I did the Rune Words, obviously, and kind of did it through everything. And it was a lot of fun. And so I kind of came back and started to play some Diablo 3. I thought the Diablo 3 launch was probably one of the worst games I've ever played in this decade. And then they came back with Reaper of Souls, and they fixed it. So I decided to come back and play it, and I've actually been having a blast playing it when I get time in between work, which has been extremely busy. Very busy, but we're finding time to get through it. So really quickly, what this build is obviously Archon, which is this thing here. You basically turn into this crazy strong cosmic being with incredible powers for a short brief period of time, and this whole build is built around it. I am using the Veers set. This is so the green pieces are the set pieces, and those give set bonuses. If you look down here on the bottom, there's a 2 set on the bottom of this item. There's a 2 set, a 4 set, and a 6 set. 2 set gives me Archon every rune. So if I was able to look at this, I just use the cooldown on it. It gives me every rune on it, which basically every ability has runes that allows you to modify that ability in some way. I get all the modifications. It's very powerful. And then I also get I get Archon stacks when I'm in Archon form. These now give me attack speed, power, armor, and resistance. So they give me very quick attacks, high durability with the armor and the resistances. Makes me tanky, makes me attack more, but with the attack speed you're also getting more stacks, because with the next set bonus you also gain Archon stacks when you hit with an Archon ability. So with the attack speed going up, your left and right click will go a little bit faster, mainly your left click, and then you're also getting more stacks because you're hitting with that as well. So pretty cool, a lot of synergy there. I'm also wearing this belt, the Fazula's Improbable Chain. You automatically start with 19 Archon stacks when you enter Archon form, so you're leading into Archon form with a bunch of stacks, then building more stacks to give attack speed. Also going to be running with Chantoto's set. This is the Chantoto's Will and Chantoto's Force. I actually got pretty lucky with this Chantoto's Will. This one ended up rolling pretty well. It's Ancient Legendary. It's got 2700 DPS on it. The DPS isn't super important, but I got the life on hit on it. I got intelligence on it as well, which is pretty sweet. But the Chantoto's set, what that says is every second while I'm in that crazy form, I expel a wave of destruction, which is this kind of like pulse you'll see around me, and I deal 350% weapon damage to enemies within 30 yards. So it's basically this kind of every second pulsing dealing damage. The next part of that, which is awesome, every time I hit with an attack while not in Archon form, I stack up 20 stacks of this Chantoto's set, which basically every stack will increase that effect by 350%. For each stack. That's 7,000% damage increase if I get 20 stacks before I enter Archon form. Lots of crazy damage, okay? I'm using the Talrasha necklace just because I got an Ancient Legendary version, and it has crit damage on it, plus the stats and aim, plus a socket, which is pretty good. Haven't found anything better. I'm using Convention of Elements, which is basically a ring that every 4 seconds it will cycle into a new element and then starts rolling through those elements, giving you almost triple damage for that element for 4 seconds. This build is lightning. You can see that it actually goes through lightning. So if every 4 seconds, or basically a quarter of the time, it is doing 300% damage, then I get a pretty decent damage overall for my DPS increase. And I'm also using the Hail of Arlise, which is basically something that says if I have ice armor, which I do, I have that on me, I have a chance that when I get my maximum health reduced by 10%, and this is before mitigations, which means it can go down by 1 or 2% if I reduce a lot of damage like I've taken. It will release a Frost Nova, which freezes everyone around me, and it works really well with the bracer that I don't have, unfortunately. The bracer would say I get reduced damage for everyone who is in range that is stunned. So it's a pretty good combination there. This is basically a 10,000 foot view, very quick, brief overview of the abilities. And if it's some of you that don't play Diablo, it may not be as exciting, but it's something that's really important to go over and how the build is going to work. So you're going to see me kind of out of Archon form, stacking up this Chantoto thing by attacking with this ability. You'll see on my buff bar I'll have the Chantoto's Resolve. When I get 20 of those, I'll immediately go into Archon form, and then I'll use that to stack it up. I'll start getting Archon stacks. The one thing that you're missing with this, which makes it really, really cool, is basically the Swammy, the Swammy, which basically says when I leave Archon form, I keep those stacks for 20 seconds. So then I will leave Archon form with stacks that gave me the attack speed and the armor and resistances. And that allows me to stay in non-Archon form, get more stacks, go back in Archon form, and start stacking. And if I do it quick enough, I can start overlapping those stacks. So the stacks I had in my last Archon form, and then start getting stacks in the Archon form I'm in right now, and it starts working really well together. So that's kind of like the overview of that. Works really, really cool. Let's see if we can't do a rift here. I actually haven't done solo in a little bit. I've been working in 2-man. Bet you I could do a 50. Torment 10, not too bad. Oh, you got a 40. Look at that. Let's go ahead and do a 48 just to have fun, and we'll see how it goes. So these are timed events. You have 15 minutes to complete these if you want the benefit at the end. Really important, but you get random mobs. Sometimes they can be pretty difficult. So let's check out what I get. Gonna hop here. It's a random map, random mob set. Pretty cool. So I'll pop my abilities here. I'm gonna get ready. So remember, the first thing I have to do is stack up Chantotos up to 20 times. Back off a bit here. So you see that little buff is going up to 11, 12, 13, 16, 17, 18. There it goes. It's got 20. So now what I'm going to do now is basically just, I'm in Archon form, I got my bubble up, and I'm just kind of spamming attacks. Basically I want to look for as many mobs as I can. It's kind of a race against time when you're in this build, because really, you know, you want to keep those stacks up, you want to be clearing quickly, you want to be building up as many mobs as you can. And I'm about to exit Archon form right about now. I'm going to use that to try and stack this back up. Remember, I still have the Archon stacks, which is really helpful. Get Archon form back here. There we go. Stacking that business up. I want to try and avoid some of this death stuff that I can. Got Arcane going. You can see the damage is just crazy. And it's also like super rhythm based. It's kind of like getting the stacks up and moving back and forth, going into Archon form, out Archon form. It's very complex and it's very engaging. It's actually super exciting. Oh, I lost it there. Super exciting to play. Get these orbs. So you see on the right side of the screen, that little purple bar that's ticking? That is basically telling me how long I have until the 15 minutes is up. And I have to end the rifts with no benefit at all. It's going to be tight. So you see, like, without Archon, I'm pretty weak. I don't really kill anything. It's kind of like a weak existence. But once I go into it, I'm pretty strong. Go. Hitting for about 1 billion here occasionally. Oh, I don't want to mess with that Molten. So that kind of like fiery thing on the ground, that's not an easy thing to deal with. And without that damage reduction, I'm not really in an easy spot here. Oh boy. I'm gonna lose some stacks here. So these guys are fighting me. I'm actually gonna try and skip this. Because I'm taking too much damage. You can kind of like use the right click there, which basically is a beam, a channeled beam. That just helps you stack mobs up, get some density going. The term is density, which basically just means you get a lot of dudes on your screen. Many dudes. Left side. Handle it. Oh! Oh! It's crazy. I mean, it's really nerve-wracking, actually, because a lot of times you feel like you're about to lose your stacks, you're about to go down and die. It's not an easy thing on your brain, mentally. Oh, I'll say. So then my last stack wrap just ended. I'm kind of stacking up. I got about 128. 100 is really good. If you're getting 100 stacks, you're in a really good spot. Oh, there we go. So you see, if I keep these stacks going, I can start getting more stacks quicker. And it starts building up and building up and building up and building up. It's all momentum based. The more momentum you get, the faster you clear, the more damage you deal. You see I'm kind of clearing this super fast. In the beginning it was like super slow, right? It's almost like kind of painful to watch how slowly I was able to kill everything. The fact that I was just kind of super weak. Had a lot of trouble. Back in Archon. And the speed just starts picking up like crazy. It's awesome. Go, 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 go. Yeah, so I could probably deal maybe in the early 50s, like 53. There's a pylon, shield pylon, I like that. This is a 48, so it wasn't too bad. Do you see that I have 136 stacks from the last Archon form that I keep when I'm in non-Archon form, which basically gives me a bunch of attack speed. And I have a ring that says every time I attack, I lower the cooldown of one of my abilities by 1 second. So the faster I attack, the faster I lower the cooldown on Archon. I get back in a lot faster. Oh, here's some good density. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, he's got about to spin. Crazy attack speed, 132 again. Archon's back up, and here we go. It's super crazy. It's a lot of fun, though. And there are times where, like, you just, once you die in the middle of the rift, it's almost like the rift is lost, because you lost all your stacks. Right now I have 132 stacks from the last Archon, and 76 in the new Archon. And those starts compounding together, and they start leaning on each other. I mean, you can get up to maybe with 2 different Archon forms. This is not good. I want to get this Archon form back. There we go. Oh! You gotta be really careful about things you step in. Now, granted, if I had those bracers that I mentioned earlier, and I know this is a little too granular for some of you that don't play Diablo. Oh, it's so crazy, dude. It's wicked. Gotta be careful about the damages here. So close. There we go. I'm actually gonna go ahead and maybe. Actually, I don't think I need to skip these guys. I think I can kill them. There it goes. There it goes. God, it's stacked. See how much attack speed I have now? You can feel it, really. There we go. He's a champion. I'm killing him just because he was low enough and I had enough stacks to keep it rolling. I'm actually going to skip that purple orb, mainly because I want to keep the stacks. I may get a little bit more progress. So those purple orbs are basically dropped from the elites and rares that you kill, the champions and the rare packs. Those drop and they give you progress on that purple bar on the right side. That's why they're colored the same thing. But really for me is I'm really focused on keeping my stacks up and keeping my momentum going, because if I lose it, if for whatever reason I can't continue my stacks from Archon to Archon, then all of a sudden I do nothing. It's pretty worthless. So my main focus at all times, which I'm about to get the Rift Guardian, just so you guys know, at the end of the bar, when the bar fills up, you actually spawn a boss, which is right here. I got Rhyme, which isn't too bad. You don't want to get hit by that. Be really careful. Now, it should have a. I'll be low on stacks. This might be a little bit tough. There should have a gem that is basically makes me deal more damage to bosses, which is something that I need, but I don't have right now. It's making bosses a little bit more difficult. You can clear really quickly getting up to the boss, but that's about it. I also have a stat called Life on Hit, which means every time I hit, I get life back. This is pretty crucial for this build, mainly because you're kind of moving around a lot. And then, obviously, since you're hitting so much, you're going to get a lot of damage out. And you'll get some life back for it, which is really important. Let's see if I can't stack away from him there. That's fine. There it is. I'm actually surprised I'm able to keep so many stacks on a single target here. Like I mentioned earlier, If you... Every target you hit... Oh, dang. That's going to be rough. Every target you hit when you're in Archon form gives you a stacks. The more targets around you, the more you build up stacks, the faster it goes, the more it builds up. Dying on a boss is really tough, though, because I don't really have any stacks to lean on. Lean on me when you're not... Oh! It's going to be rough. I have plenty of time, though. So the gem I'm supposed to have is in one of my rings or my amulet. Makes so that I deal a ton of damage to a single target and increase the damage I deal to bosses, which is super helpful, mainly because this build has a little bit of a tough time with single target unless you have that gem. So once I get that, things will be much easier. See, I'm doing like almost nothing, right? I was hitting for 1 billion before, I'm hitting for like 1 million now. The difference is like night and day. Ooh, man. There we go. There's the 200. Trying to stay away from some of these things. Some of these bosses, and really there's actually a ton of bosses to face that all do different things and have different strengths. And some of them are harder than others depending on what your build is. This guy obviously pretty tough for me because he leaves a bunch of these kind of things in the ground that kind of just pop up and start dealing damage anyway, and he has that big projectile blast. The problem with things on the ground is if he's standing on them, I can't get in melee range in order to damage him to keep my stacks up. Now what I could do is use my range attack, but it's significantly less damage. Just need to get those Chantoto stacks back up to 20. I'm going to teleport out of that. Oh, that was only one of them. Crazy, man. You can see one of the cool things, too, here is each death and greater increase your resurrection time by 5 seconds to a maximum of 30, which means that every time you die, you have to wait longer and longer and longer before you can come back to life. And that's just a mechanic to make sure that you're sticking to the time and adhering to the time, and you're clearing it in a meaningful amount of time, right? Because if you could just constantly respawn, it would be a little bit meaningless to be effectively strong and defensive, and all I really need is just get one more full Archon form back. Oh, he adjusted it! What dirty. Alright, 25 seconds. Alright, so I have 4 minutes and 50 seconds. That tells you how fast I actually cleared the basic rift. If I got it, I have basically 10 minutes for the basic rift. Usually want to leave about 3 minutes to 4 minutes for the boss, and I'm got him down below half with 4.5 minutes to spare. So I think if I could just get one Archon off correctly, I think I can do this. This is the interesting part about this build, is that if you don't get that Archon momentum going, you're basically... I mean, you go from being a complete god to being a worthless slave. Whew. Okay, I just need to avoid those. Alright, here we go. So I'm going to try and use him with a beam from far away. Oh crap, there we go. Archon's about to end here. Gotta watch out for that blast when he does it again. That thing. There we go. Chantoto's is back. Here's the Archon form. Got some stacking stacks here. Trying to beam him. There we go. So I just need to use the beam when I'm outside of it. There we go. There we go. There we go. Oh, please. So close. Stacks are still up. Oh, can I get him in time? Really need that gem that makes me able to do more damage. Cool thing about that, though, is I have obviously that big bubble. It slows projectiles, which makes it so that I don't have to worry so much about getting hit by those things. Okay. There we go. Stacks are building up a little bit more now. You can feel it in the attack speed. So close. So close, baby boo! Had to blink around that blast that he shot out at me. There we go. Avoided that last one. You can see the outside Archon with the Archon stack still sticking up. Oh, that was close. I'll be able to get him now. Boom! There we go. Alright. So the loot is coming down. Got all that. This is actually, I think, one of my first few. 48. That's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to max out my gems. So at the end, if you complete it in time... Did I get the bracers? I did not. That's rough. Alright. So I'm going to max out this gem. So these are all the legendary gems. These all do different things, like you get cooldown reduction attack speed, your pets deal more damage, you deal more damage to stun targets or targets under crowd control. A lot of different things combined together. These legendary gems only go into jewelry, so rings and amulets. You see I have the Gogok of Swiftness on this one right in there in the middle. I know I'm pointing at my monitor, but you can't see that. And then I have Pain Enhancer, and I have Esoteric Alteration, which is reduction. So I'm going to max that out because I really want this passive, which says I get a bunch of resistances when I'm below half-life, which is super helpful. So boom. There we go. 2, you get to upgrade 3 times. Based on how high a rift you did, you have a % chance to succeed. I'm actually really close to getting this maxed out here. So let's go ahead and check back what we got. We're going to go back to town and see what we got. If I get that bracer, that gives me a whole bunch of damage reduction, which is huge. I'm really looking forward to having it. Super excited. Crap. 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 Not bad for steady strikers. Crap. Alright, so I'm going to finish this off. That was a 13-minute and 5-second... Oh my god, this went to 90. 30-minute, 5-second, 48, which isn't bad. Like I said, the best wizard in the world right now is doing between 63 and 65. Those are people that have like some of the best gear possible. The season's only a week old, so I've done pretty well. I've gotten pretty lucky to get the gear that I have for only playing a little bit of time on this, honestly. This is a way to gamble, so you're basically putting in cash to try and get out loot. It just gives you a random piece for that slot. It could be anything. And if this turns out to be what I need right now, I'm going to love you guys for being my lucky charm. Like I said, I need bracers, some strong arm. Nothing. Dirt. How'd that strong armor turn out? Not so great. Did alright. Okay, so I want to also mention... Oh, look at this points. I want to also mention that this video is actually sponsored by Opinion Outpost. If you guys are wondering what Opinion Outpost is, it's actually this pretty cool site. What you do is basically you go there. Link is down below in the description if you want to check it out. But this is basically a website where you go and you start filling out surveys. It's even more light than that. It's basically a way to kind of give your opinion on things. What it's called, Opinion Outpost, obviously. But there's like a whole bunch of things on the website that you can kind of give your opinion on. And as you fill things out and kind of give your opinions based on, and these could be anything, right? It could be video games, it could be books, it could be all kinds of random things. But as you give your opinions, you basically get paid for it. So there's an easy way to kind of make money. If you guys are looking to maybe purchase Diablo and kind of get there, or maybe you're looking for some gems in Smite, or maybe even looking to get into maybe some way to get into Paladins. That's an easy way to get some side cash. So go ahead and head down to the description down below and click on that and then fill it out. You guys have a really easy way to kind of get into that. That's going to be it for this video. Let's see if we can actually disenchant. So I'm going to repair. I'm going to disenchant these all at once. Like I said, not good, not good, not good, not good. Strong arm didn't. Low roll on it for the passive, but the stats are actually a little bit better than this one. I'll put it down there and decide. That will be that. Do I have anything else here? I don't think so. All my materials for crafting things or anything. This is the gem I was talking about, Bane of the Stricken. This is the one you want if you have trouble killing bosses. You can see that each attack you make against an enemy increases the damage it takes from your attacks by a percentage. It stacks up. And then the passive you get to 25 is gain 25% increased damage against bosses and Rift Guardians. So it's a flat 25% damage increase plus stacking damage increase. It's really good against single targets. Now this only stacks on one target at a time, so if you switch targets, there's an internal cooldown that prevents you from using it in multiple places. But it's pretty straightforward and it's pretty easy to use and gets the kind of like fast clear builds like mine is. Mine's very good at clearing AoE and going through the rift itself once you get built with stacks, which again, I adore this build. It's really fun. It's momentum based. It's very engaging. There's a lot of things you're looking at, and you keep flipping back and forth between Archon form and not. It's really exciting. I enjoyed it a lot. Since it's pretty late in the night, it's actually almost 3 right now, I decided to come home after work and play a little Diablo and kind of check in with you guys. I know I haven't been able to do this as much. A lot of times I have to record if it's going to be 2, 3 a.m., and sometimes I just have to sleep for work the next day. I'm actually going to go to work tomorrow. But I just wanted to stop and make this video for you guys to kind of check out, see what I'm up to. I'll do a Jingtan video as soon as I can, probably tomorrow afternoon, and I'll check you in my next video. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend.